mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now, do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this.
Thank you, Rocco.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown, but we both know how to swim. No worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And when we have the best times, no matter what we do, and even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope everyone is well. Today is June 8th, 2024, 4:48 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. It's good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, hello. Hope you are well. Hello, Justin, and everyone in chat. Thank you so much for that, Sonia. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Hope you all are well. Yes, yes, Chris got a puppy. He sure did. And also, he named the dog Crystal for Crystal Clear, I'm sure. I'm almost certain of it, that he named the dog Crystal for Crystal Clear. Why not, right? Why not? So, yep, he did get a dog. We were talking a little bit about this last night. Gets rid of Sebastian's 2 cats in California, makes him get rid of his snake, throws his stuff out, makes him take it to the trash, carry it out, and they put it in a landfill. But he is absolutely okay to get a dog while his stepson is missing. So it's It's sad. It's sad. Thank you, Max Chica. Yep, kid's gone and get a dog. Yep. It seems to me like he was trying to push everything out in Sebastian's life, in my opinion. And now the question is, where is Sebastian? We are how many days now? 105 days or more that Sebastian has been missing. I did go earlier. I ended up going a little over an hour earlier because I am coming live again here in a little bit because we're starting a new case as well. Justin, don't they already have dogs? Yes, they sure do. They have two Morkies, two vicious Morkies that Chris said, you know, gave him, quite the bite on the arm. I don't know about you, but usually dogs bite your hands. I don't know how they bite up here. How do they bite up here? I'll never understand it. How does a dog bite up here? That's not even a place where dogs bite. You know what I mean? Like how does a dog bite up there? Morkies are a Maltese and a Yorkie mix. They're called a designer breed, and it's so that's what it is. Thank you, Ramona. Yeah, I got my hair did. I did. I think he lived to bully Sebastian, and he's showing his butt. What was wrong with the dog they had? Well, I don't know. I guess they still got the two Morkies. Um, I I guess they did have like a golden doodle at one time, but I guess that's gone as well. They got a picture with it in a garage. Carmelita, thank you so much, my dear. How about some screaming chickens? Yes, absolutely.
Katie! Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! Katie!
There you go. Um, that actually called me the blonde specialist. Oh, that's awesome, Christina. Thank you. That's a compliment. Thank you. My friend said, "Really, Chris works. So just one more thing for Katie, to have to take care of." Well, I mean, um, she's not out searching or doing anything. You know, it just baffles my mind when I was live last night and thought about that. Someone had mentioned about the Morkies in chat, and I remembered him saying that he was going to the airport next week to pick up his dog, his new dog. He's very excited about it. And I thought, guy, are you kidding me? Like, you would think that they would be so busy, you know, trying to find your son, Katie, that they wouldn't have time for anything else. Like not even close to having time for anything else. And I was thinking about, oh, well, Sebastian had two cats, which is the thing that he loves the most, right? The thing that he loves the absolute most. And Chris says he's allergic to them. You're welcome, Philip. And then they were gone. And then Chris has the snake. You know, he had all the snakes. And he told us that they were going to keep Sebastian Snake, the snake breeder. And remember, the snake breeder came out and said that they never promised them that they were going to keep Sebastian Snake. They never asked if they could bring Sebastian over to see the snake or anything. But they did keep Sebastian Snake, and they are going to give it to Sebastian if he comes home. I think you're right, Mike. But Chris gives that away. And then he throws his stuff out in his room. I don't know about you, but that breaks my heart for Sebastian. Last night on another panel, I was speaking about how my heart broke for Sebastian, that he didn't have friends, right? All he wanted was friends. And with his condition that he has, everything, like, what more did you want to take away from this kid? What more did they want to take away from this kid? He didn't have anywhere safe in that house, y'all. Didn't have anywhere safe, and that is so messed up. Carmelita, thank you. You received that pearl necklace. Please thank our beloved Carmelita. Hello, Maurice. Hey, Jude. And then I thought, I'm just going to be honest with you on how I thought about this, because this is my opinion and I feel how I feel based upon what I've seen from them, what I've heard from them, and what we know from them. Got rid of all that. And then Chris is in the ear of Katie and in the ear of Seth, because he wants Sebastian to go to Seth's house. Why? So he was trying to, in my opinion, sound like he was trying to get rid of Sebastian. I feel how I feel. That's my opinion. And then, because he didn't want his daughter around Sebastian, he makes it extraordinarily clear. Barbara, because he said he bred the snakes. You are breaking up on my end. Am I breaking up anywhere? I'm muted. Sorry. I was muted. So I was thinking about Chris and just what Kim said. Everything and everyone is replaceable to Chris and Katie. But with Chris, I don't think that relationships really mean that much to him. Justin, I bet the dogs have to sleep in the cold garage when it pees in the house. Yeah, perhaps until they might get rid of that. But clearly, in my opinion, I agree, Marlena. Relationships are very temporary for Chris, right? I mean, you get look at the times he's been married. I mean, w- can you not reconcile with your mate 5 or 6 times? I mean, marriages and relationships are hard and they're not always easy, right? They're not always easy. But I agree, Tinks. I agree. Hey, Tiffany. Red flags for days. Thank you, Brenda. So it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. 1 second here. Is it going up? Sorry, I'm trying to fix the air. I just don't get Seth. Well, this is the thing when it comes to Seth. I don't agree with some of the things that he has done and said, right? And I've made that clear. But I support Seth. I support him because I know that he had nothing, zero, zilch, nada to do with anything with his son missing. I know he was at work in a jail, which is the most secure place, for anything. And I know he's been searching. And that's exactly right, Tinks. That's exactly right. And that goes to, and so many people these days, it's, well, if you don't like one thing that that person is doing, you're not friends anymore, or you don't support him, or you don't like him. And I think that's why relationships are so temporary anymore, is because you're not going to like or agree with someone 100% of the time. You love them for the reason you love them or like them, and you take the good from them that you like and just let the rest be, right? As long as they're not hurting children, animals, elderly, or special needs. So there's that. There's that. To me, it does no good because we're here looking for, we're trying to find where Sebastian is, right? We're really to tell. Hold on one second. So, like I said, for me, there's a lot of people like bashing Seth and stuff, but to me, it does nothing productive in how to find Sebastian, right? It just does nothing productive with trying to figure out what happened to Sebastian. Um, oh yeah, Tiffany. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So we can go over. I want to go over some statements that Katie and Seth has said. Yeah, I just don't. I like if you. I don't try to bash anybody like creator, whether they agree with me, whether they disagree with me, whether they don't like me or whatever. I just stay in my lane. Um, did I get your emails, Katie? I probably did. Um, but I probably did. You just send them just a little bit ago? Uh, yeah, I don't think that's if you sent me a. I don't think that's Sebastian. If that's the one you were looking at there. There's two out about. There's two about an hour ago. I don't know what that means. Yes, guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Be greatly appreciative. Thank you, Tinks. Thank you. It's there's just be here for the kids, and if you're try to help in this life, you know, try to help. That's all we should be here for, is trying to help. This is the picture of Chris and Katie with another dog, and that is certainly not a multi whatever, not a multi poo. What kind of dog was it again? I just said it earlier that they have. What happened? The doodle puppy in the photos. I guess they got rid of it. Yeah, it looks like a labradoodle or a golden doodle. Morkies. Thank you. Morkies. So don't know what happened to that. That pic. It looks like an old pic. Well, it might be an old pic, but they've only been together what, 6 or 7 years. Dogs live more than 6 or 7 years, so something happened to it. So there's that. All right, so I want to go over some statements, and then I thought we could watch the maybe Peter Hyatt or Chris McDonough interview. What happened to the doodle puppy shown in the photos? Don't know. They must have some weird attachment disorders. I mean, I think it's quite easy for Chris to say bye bye. Seems like he has no trouble, right? I mean, you got to think he married Nina and went allegedly straight to Katie. In my opinion, he was already Katie, but that's my opinion. No, you don't. No, ma'am. Brown-eyed gal to the office, please. You're being paged. Brown-eyed gal to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for brown-eyed gal, please. Thank you. Good to see you, brown-eyed gal. Justin, have you seen the statement is going around that Katie's best friend's son was staying in a makeshift bedroom in the garage until the day before Sebastian went missing? Is that truth? It's probably bullshit. I doubt it. I doubt it. Very much doubt it. I'm going to get you, Justin. I doubt it. People make up such, rumors. It's sad. It's really sad. So here's some of the statements that Chris and Katie had made from the videos that we did find very interesting. And sometimes one thing about statements, it's very interesting when you will see it on paper, or you see it in writing. Sometimes you see it differently than just the way that the person stated it. Also, another thing I do is I will go to any just like random part on the video, and because you don't really know the context at first, and you'll just go to any random part, and sometimes you will hear it differently, just randomly. Did y'all hear the news? Take Warner will stand trial for of his wife. Oh, you mean for D. Warner? That's wonderful. Good. That was terrible. They found D, didn't they? Didn't they find her? Oh, thank you, Sassy Hound. That's so sweet. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, dear. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. Justin, the age for a dog 5 or secured. Correct, because they only have their kids. Yeah. I'm not sure what was discussed before I got here today, but Seth is getting on my nerves lately. He's sad he is following others' advice. And, Lord, I understand. I can't say I don't understand because I do understand. I wish Seth didn't have someone in his ears because I don't think it's helping him. Is that the case? We won't know. This was D. Warner. I think she was in somewhere in the Midwest, Illinois or Wisconsin or something like that. I don't know. But they had really big farm, and she went missing. I believe they found her. I know. But I still support Seth because I know he didn't do anything. I don't like everything, but I still support him. They never found her? I thought they found her. Really? Okay, they didn't find her. The judge says there's sufficient evidence, though. Thank you, Olivia. I'm so impatient. Why can't law enforcement sit Chris and Katie down and ask why he canceled court, thinking Sebastian won't be found by next week? Michigan. Okay, thank you for that. This is the thing. Sometimes I was speaking to someone in law enforcement in the past, and they said sometimes, how did they say it? Sometimes we know what happened, but we can't prove what happened, right? And that's a hard pill to swallow. And it's a hard pill to swallow for them too. Because trust me, they don't like it either, right? Sometimes they have stuff on the people that they're going after, so to speak, but they don't have enough. They have stuff, but it's not enough to make a jury or a judge, right? It's just not enough. And that's a real thing. That's a real hard thing too. Don, love you too, Don Grandma 3, and thank you for 10 months. That is amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate it. Why do many law enforcement ask the community for help? I know. I know. I understand. I understand. And it's not fair sometimes. It's just really not. And so we're going to pray that Sebastian is found. In just a few days, it's going to be 3 years for Summer Wells. It's crazy. Thank you, Thrift Mama. Appreciate you. All right, so let's look at some of this statement analysis here. Chris, and this is, some of it is verbatim, but it's very close to what he said. Most of it is precise what he said, but for just to be safe, I'm just going to say this is basically what he said. If you want to know the full what he said, then go watch, I guess, the interviews. But this is pretty much what I took out of it. Chris, he says he called the non-emergency line for a quicker response time. Katie, Sebastian wore pull-ups. Hold on, maybe I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. Let me start here. I knew I was on the wrong one. Sorry. Katie, I know his father hasn't seen him walk out of the house without some sort of shoe on, but I have had a different experience. I've seen him take out the trash in his socks, and I'm like, dude, that is Katie speaking. Katie speaking on that. So she disagrees that Sebastian, you are not invisible today. No, ma'am. No ham. No turkey. You're not. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. So Katie says that she's seen him walk out in his socks taking the trash. you can take that for, what it's worth, whatever you think it's worth. Katie, he locks the door behind him. I put everything every time he goes out. Every time he goes out. Chris. And this was a huge thing. I put in my notes. If someone had been at the front door, punched in the code, believe it or not, you would have seen a figure of some sort. Now, that was a bombshell, in my opinion, because we know that whenever, and I believe it was Sebastian taking out the trash, but regardless whether it was Sebastian or not, we know that if you walk from the garage door to the curb, the Ring doorbell across the road will show you. Now, Seth said he couldn't really tell exactly who it is, but regardless, it's a human being, right? Now, that Ring camera across the road is actually closer to the Proudfoot's front door than it is down where the driveway is, right? So it's that Ring doorbell is closer to the Proudfoot's door than the driveway, and it picked him up at the driveway. And Chris he didn't realize what he was saying, because Smiley asked it as, well, what if someone would come up to the door and try to lure Sebastian out? And Chris is like, no. If someone would have lured him out, it would have been seen on camera across the street. You couldn't tell it's a figure. You could tell it's a figure of some sort, at least. But he didn't realize what he was saying there. Didn't get. Because if you can see someone walking up to the door, you can see someone walking out of the door. You can see someone walking out of the garage area where the trash is. Right? It's not that far away. Oh my goodness. SL, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, 5 pearl necklaces. SL just gifted, and you know what happens whenever someone gifts 5 or more pearl necklaces. It is a big thing around here. We have to do an application process.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next
Beep,
stop
beep, mother
is
chickens.
Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Thank you so much, our dear SL, for gifting those 5 pearl necklaces. If you received a pearl necklace, please make sure you thank our beloved SL. That's very kind of you, SL. Thank you. Make sure you have your gifts on. Make sure you have those on, and you might get one. You never know. I don't know that song. It's one that's on YouTube. It's free. I don't know. So there's that. You would have seen someone, and well, I mean, you would have seen with someone. You would have absolutely seen someone. And how do we know that? Because we see it. We haven't seen it, but Seth and Chris and Katie have seen it, right? And guess what? Guess what? The neighbor across the street, remember, let Chris see the video footage. That's something. Truth Sleuth, thank you, darling. Welcome. Pearls look amazing on you, Truth Sleuth. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Truth Sleuth is very good at finding things as well. So it's been a real treat to have her join the Pearl family. All right. So Chris says, believe it or not, you would have seen, someone, or you would have at least seen a figure. Chris says, no luminol, no fingerprints. Katie, the most reasonable door, if he was going to sneak out based upon what he's always used, they discussed it with law enforcement as well, was the front door. Chris, he could have only used 2 doors that he could lock himself from the outside. And one of the doors makes too much noise. Plus, it would have been seen on camera. Let me show you. I think I'm showing y'all the wrong one. Bear with me 1 second. Let me show you this. He said it would have been seen on camera. Now, and he's talking about the back, right? He's talking about the back of the house. Look how close the backyard is. Look how close the house is back there when the leaves are off. And the leaves were off in February, right? The leaves would have been off. So he would have been seen in the backyard. Hey, Brittany. He couldn't have went out the back. Didn't have a key. Did not have a key to lock it. He didn't have a key whatsoever. Thank you, Adrian. Could not have went out the back. He was scared of the sound the door made. He didn't have a key to it. And plus, he would have been seen on camera. They, in my opinion, want us to believe that, which I believe he was probably, didn't like the sound of a screeching door or whatever. But if he didn't like the sound of a screeching door, and he didn't like the dark, right? Didn't like to get dirty. If he was scared of the sound of a screeching door, you know what the sounds of night is, right? I don't think he would like that. especially when it's really cold. The back door screeched. And those are the only two. The front door and the back door are the only two doors possible where he could have locked the door behind him. And the back door, you can only lock it from outside with a key. Is that a light on above the van? That's a good point. Yes, it is. Look at that, y'all. It's a light on at the van. Troll alert. Someone said there's a troll. Mods. If there's a troll acting crazy, then just take care of it. I didn't see him, but Kelly is late. Kelly, to the office, please. You're being paged. Kelly, to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for Kelly. Yes, he hated bugs too. Yep. Personal vehicles in the garage. Yep. Yep. I don't know what the other white van is for. It could have been for another ADT van. Probably Katie getting another security system that may or may not have been ripped out, or cameras that may or may not have been ripped out. I don't know. Just saying. Yes. Is that why they say there are no other way he could have left? Because they knew he'd be seen going out the garage door, but not the front door. Yes. Yes, Southern Girl. So the front door, they say, is the one that he always goes out of. That's the one where he catches the school bus and all of that. Now he goes through the garage door if he's, with his mom, or I doubt it, Chris, in the car. But the back door screeches and he doesn't like the sound. And all the doors were locked, allegedly, when Katie woke up that morning. So they are saying that Sebastian locked the door behind him, right? Oh my goodness. Tori, wow. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. That is so amazing, Tori. Thank you so much for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Now, this is a serious thing that we do around here when 5 or more memberships happen. We have to do a very, very serious application process.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train.
Beep, beep, mother chickens.
The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Thank you again, Tori, so very much for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Welcome along, new pearls. Actually, if you received a pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Tori. It means so much. Thank you, Tori. Your application has been approved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, I just got a text. I need to read it. Take a picture. When Sebastian left into Yeah, I'll get that to you. Oh wow. Okay, thank you for those maps. Oh, that's really good information. Really good information. We'll have to check that out. Searched all day at Dunbar Cave State Park, Clarksville. Wow. I got another text. Look at Katie, I want you to look at this. I know you're watching. People are out searching today for your son. Today. They sent me a lot of pictures. Lots of pictures. Look at this. This is your son, Katie. And the question is, either way, it goes, whether Katie's not searching but knows something, if she does, then it's terrible. But if she is, and they are have absolutely nothing to do with it, then it's just equally as terrible, because that means you don't care. Right? That means you just don't care. Don, Grandma at 3, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting a pearl necklace. Thank you, love. If you receive that pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Don, Grandma at 3. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Daisy Love, to the office, please. You're being paged. Daisy Love, to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for Daisy Love. How about that? I got away with it. She was celebrating, wasn't she? She was celebrating. Good to see you, dear. Lakeside Lawyer, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mama Bear, to the office, please. You're being paged. Mama Bear, to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for Mama Bear. Anita, welcome. Thank you so very much. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. You are now a pearl. Pearls look amazing on you, Anita. Thank you so much for your support. Y'all are amazing, truly. Thank you so much. Thank you to each and every single one of you. It's very generous of you. All right. So I just want to thank the person that sent these photos in. They were in some really interesting areas, and thank you, Anita. Thank you. It's very humbling. Thank you. Very interesting areas, and they're looking. They are looking. And what the hell are you doing, Katie? What the hell are you doing? Guys, a lot of times I think people really stretch it when they're like, oh, that's a bruise, or that looks like a bruise. This could be a shadow, but to me this looks like a bruise, right? Don't you think, right there under his neck? And that was supposedly the day before, the Saturday or Sunday, when Sebastian went missing. Justin, the lost are never alone. We're here. Thank you, Justin. Absolutely, Tori. Thank you. I got really emotional last night just thinking about they took everything from Sebastian. Everything. In my opinion, Chris took everything from Sebastian. I just cannot get over this autistic child who, kids, adults, we love our animals so much, right? They are family members. And he took Katie, allowed it. And I can't imagine how traumatizing that had to be to take those away from Sebastian. Not to mention what is alleged to have happened. I just can't, y'all. What alleged to happen to him whenever he was in California. Remember that. Then they take away. I hate snakes. I'll be the first to tell you. Can't stand them. Don't like them. They're eerie. I just don't. Yeah. But Sebastian loved his snake, and that's all I care about. That's all I care about. It was his. Took that away, and then I was thinking, God, this asshole even came in his room and threw his belongings away. Thank you, Lacey. I just can't get over that. Like what? He wasn't in any activities outside of school, right? Wasn't in any activities. All he wanted was friends. And if he couldn't have friends, for fuck's sake, let the kid have an animal or something. Everyone needs to have someone they can turn to. Every human being alive. I can't imagine taking a kid's animal away. I just can't imagine that. Like, both of them are all kinds of fucked up. Pardon my French, y'all, but that is really wrong. It is really wrong to do that. Justin, I was rewatching Nancy Grace's interview with Chris and Katie. The timestamp when interview was 23:30. There were someone in the RV picking up keys, staying close to them. I don't know. We'll look at it. We can look at it. We'll look at it. Let me see here. Nancy Grace, Sebastian. Let me see if I can find it. That's Seth Rogers. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Oh, look. Bear with me, guys. Let me look. I'll find it here somewhere. That was what, 2 months ago? Videos popular. Latest. 2 months ago. I just cannot believe they did that. I'm still. Oh, that's a clip. Okay, this is it. Let me see the timestamp. Oh, what was it? 23:30. Credit goes to Miss Grace, Nancy Grace. That is 23:30. This is what's this? The most replayed. I just want to see what the most replayed is real quick.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Oh,
Well, then
that's interesting. Listen to this. I just got this. I'm glad I played this. Anything? Katie is confirming this now.
From where?
That's what we were hoping, that neighborhood Ring cameras and may have picked something up.
Gotcha. I want to go back
They
to
did.
that night. You said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school. Are you in school?
I was, yes, ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
What do you?
Reading, talking on the phone. Okay. All right. Let me just ask this. Okay. Let me just ask this. Chris calls it 9:40 some. How can you be reading a chapter for your school, sleeping, and talking on the phone when you talk to Chris for 2 hours, not 3 hours? You talk to him for 2 hours, according to what the times you guys gave. Whenever you talk to him on the phone for 2 hours, you're reading a chapter, and sorry, I'll get to that. It was what,
You
30
studying?
minutes, 25?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at
Yeah, it
midnight
was a
after
cage.
you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian?
This is the most popular part of the video, YouTube says.
At that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night, because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before
You're
you
right,
went to bed.
Melly.
What time
Right.
was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
What?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
Oh, that's interesting. Around 10 o'clock. Around 10 o'clock. So not now. Remember, Chris called at 9:43 or 9:46, allegedly. So Katie allegedly asking, did someone pop off at around 10 o'clock? And is that when a call was made? I just got that. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Around 10 o'clock. And if it was around 10 o'clock, well, 9:46 is around 10 o'clock. Something happened right in there, in my opinion. Okay, well, she says the thud happened around 10 o'clock. Hey, Marita. The thud happened around 10 o'clock. Well, Chris says they started talking on the phone at 9:46. That's around 10 o'clock. That's around 10 o'clock. Did something happen after that thud? He said 9:42, or he said 9:42, 9:46. What did Truth Sleuth say? Or is that just a coincidence? As soon as Chris joins the story, the thud happens around ATS. Because she says, Nancy asked, well, what? Here, let me just play it one more time. I just caught that.
Night, because normally he's,
That night,
right.
so that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I
Which,
did not.
hold on, I'm just going to pause right there for 1 second. Which Chris and Katie have both said it, that Katie keeps the dogs in bed with her whenever Chris is gone. But she put them up this night. But listen to this.
Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier, you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
So, what I'm saying is that how is it possible that KP can talk, read, do homework, yell at Sebastian all before falling asleep? So, she says the thud happened around 10 o'clock. Chris says he calls Katie at 9:42 or 9:46, which is around 10 o'clock. Did something happen and she made a call? Oh, me too, Smiling Sleuth. My God, me too. That's interesting. Just a thud. Just a thud in your child's room. No, I don't check it. Not anymore. No mention of a thud until interview 4. Hey, I don't know what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And then it was, Bubba, did you fall off the bed? No, ma'am. How is there a thud on a carpeted floor? I mean, I mean, you can still hear a thud on a carpeted floor if it's hard enough. Holly S. to the office, please. You're being paged. Holly S. to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for Holly S. Good to see you, Holly. Your child has fluid on his brain. You 100% check. Well, Linda, absolutely. And this is a child that has had seizures, for much of his life. Much of his life. Now, he didn't supposedly have seizures for the last couple years. Fifth interview was noise. When Chris explains it in the interview, I believe it's Duchess, he says mom and son and said she fell asleep around 10 at the couch. Yep, let me check my notes on that, actually, because I got my notes, and I'll tell you. All right. We'll go back to that. Let's see what the first interview said. All right, let me see if it's this one. Made spaghetti pancakes, all that. Chris will tell her to get up and go to bed. Okay, Katie, Sebastian takes the trash out. That's his chore. Katie also says he comes in, he's playing in his room till bedtime. Katie tells Sebastian, hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed. And he says, okay, mommy, love you, mama, love you. Then says goodnight to puppies. Katie, her and Chris were talking on the phone. Chris will tell her to get up and get to bed, and that was around midnight. Katie, she puts up the puppies. Katie, I went to bed myself about midnight, and I went to sleep, obviously, is what she says. Then at 6 a.m., I wake up. Okay, it might have been the other interview where he says mom did this and mom is now looking for her son. Okay. Let me see here. Was that the same date? That's the same one. 3/17. That's Smiley's. We got another. Did we not do the second one? Hold on, let me check here. Bear with me, y'all. I want to see. I don't know if we did the second Duchess interview. Oh, I might be looking at the wrong one. Let me make sure. Huh. Because I remember him saying mom went to bed and now mom can't find her son. That's weird. Let me see if I got any notes on it somewhere. Tony says, nope, I don't know if we did the second Duchess one. That's going to drive me nuts. Chris, Sebastian will one day, he's upset and mad at me for something. 20 minutes later, he runs up and throws his arms around me. That's so weird. Sebastian loves to be a helper. He's never met a stranger. He doesn't want anything to do with them. Difficult to answer because it depends on where he is at the moment. Katie, he had a really good day. He wasn't in trouble. Katie also says, not sure if he just wasn't saying something that bothered him. Katie didn't see or notice anything that would have been a red flag. Katie, he was well behaved that day and actually even, I don't know what I misspelled something there. Katie, Sebastian goes through phases. Chris, he goes on streaks where he's great, and then it's like Katie goes through remission. Chris, yeah, he'll like he'll screw up and then he'll get in trouble. He'll be good and then he'll screw up. He's like a typical kid. It's hit or miss. Katie, he'll do good for a few weeks and then it's like you flip a switch. Hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed. And he says, okay, Mom, I love you. Then says goodnight. Katie, her and Chris were talking on the phone. Chris will tell her to get up and put up the dogs around midnight. Katie, she puts up the puppies. Katie, I went to bed myself at midnight and went to sleep, obviously. Then at 6 a.m., I went to wake him up. Okay, here it is. I found it. Thank God. Okay. All right. Whew. I thought we did it. Just wanted to make sure. Let me make sure. Okay, let's see what he says because I want to go back to this video. All right. Sebastian told Katie, love you, Mama. Love the puppies. Chris says Sebastian is not a runner, does not go outside that much, and the neighbors know him. Chris, hours of 12 and 6. Not home. Katie didn't take the phone. Katie says Sebastian didn't take the phone. None of his shoes are missing. Chris states Katie and himself were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46. Call logs, he says, for Chris has been verified. Chris says, okay, phone calls were lengthy, says Mom started to fall asleep. Chris states it's okay, put the dogs up and go to bed. Chris states that's right around midnight or just before midnight. Mom went in to check on her son to get him up for school. Now we have a worried mom who can't find her son. Mom searches several times. Chris says, Mom, Katie, calls him and says, I cannot find him. Chris states that he makes the phone call because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, Sheriff is out of the house. Katie says he don't have social media. Katie only friends was a couple kids at school. Katie, all of the kids have been questioned and asked. So I don't think Chris ever said that they started falling asleep around 10 o'clock. I still have to edit these. Is Terry T in here? Okay. That's interesting. Okay. I was getting sidetracked, but I wanted to see that if he said he went to sleep at 10 o'clock. Yeah, he said midnight. I just wanted to make sure for that. You said it was around the 30-minute mark?
Ever hit Sebastian with a belt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Hold on a second. I just caught something. Take Holly S. No, Justin, you got to listen to it. Duchess says Katie told her that it's 25 minutes in. That Katie told her that it was around 10 o'clock. Is that what you mean? Who timed out Holly H? She's in a timeout, not a block. If you can still find her, how long is the timeout for? Okay. We'll go back and listen to it. Does anyone know how long the timeout is? I wanted to go back. I wanted to check this right here, what he just said, because
The belt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
he's saying that the belt incident did not make it to CPS. Um, yeah, it did. He's lying right there. He's lying right there, in my opinion, based upon what he said before. He wants his cake and eat it too. Not what he told Smiley. Sebastian, you got punished. And then he mocked Sebastian. But. And then he mocked Sebastian. Sebastian, you got punished. Let me look at my notes here. Actually, I think I got it right here in my notes. I've had CPS calls in 2 states, New Mexico and Tennessee, was Sebastian. Sebastian got in trouble at school one day. We were at home and I said, Sebastian, where's your belt? Whap. He goes, Chris, making the sound whop, whap, which is indicative of hitting, smacking. He goes to school and tells the teachers. They are mandatory reporters. Teacher reports it. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down at the dinner table. Sebastian, remind you, is a 15-year-old and he is still being punished. So you just completely, in my opinion, lied to Nancy. And this is why Nancy was saying at CrimeCon in my allegedly, that Chris is a liar. Sebastian, remind you, is 15-year-old and is still being punished. So I just want you guys to know that he says even after he forgets his belt and lies about a stupid belt, that the thing is you can't untime out someone. That's the thing. So I don't know how long you timed her out for. I can unblock somebody. If y'all can find her and block her, and then see if it lets you unblock her. If it will let you unblock her, then it will untime her out. But if you can block her and it doesn't let you untime her out, then it will, if it won't let you untime her out, just block her, and that way I can go unblock her if you can find it where it is. So I'm sorry, Holly. I don't know what happened. Probably a mod slipped the finger. So but yeah, mind you, he's saying that Sebastian's at the dinner table. This 15-year-old, he says, is still being punished. And so even after the WAP, he's still being punished. When you get a chance, look at the video where she says she goes to pick up the niece. She looks at, oh, yeah. I've pointed that out for sure. Yeah. Sebastian actually wore his bowling shoes out to the car, and they had to go back inside to get his bowling shoes, or to switch out his bowling shoes to give him back and put his real shoes on. So he just says to Nancy that it didn't make it to CPS. Well, Seth has the documents, and Chris stated what I was just reading you, which is, oh crap, I'm reading the wrong one. Sebastian, remind you as a 15-year-old who's still being punished even after the WAP. And the same lady comes to the house who we've had a case before. Now, the case before, he says, is like 3 stories all shoved into one. He claims didn't even happen. Chris says, finally got that debunked. They canceled that out. Chris, so the CPS on me, she shows up and I say, hey, how are you doing? She says, hey. She says, don't tell me anything, but I'm going to tell you everything. I know what happened. Chris, she says, blah, blah, blah. She told me exactly what happened, and I said, yes, ma'am. Chris saying, yes, ma'am. CPS woman says, oh my God. And I say, yes, ma'am. This is how it's been. This is how it's been. He tells the CPS, this is how it's been. Let's just. So. And you know something, last night found something very interesting. If you missed it, you guys remember Nina saying that she thought Chris was in California. She thought Chris was in California, but he was actually in Tennessee. She thought Chris, when they were, splitting up and everything, she thought Chris was in California, but he was actually in Tennessee. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that. Can you only reserve a block for a timeout? Yep. Well, Chris was actually in Tennessee. She was actually in Tennessee. Now, that's being very deceptive. Saying you are at one place and you're not. Wonder if that's ever happened again. Wonder if it's ever happened again.
It being put in place. So 2 days later, she files one in put against her in the.
Hold on.
Was there a TRO?
Then go back here.
On my daughter, I could never reach my ex-wife at that time, so a welfare check was requested. Law enforcement told me to call CPS if I had concerns, so I called CPS. Law enforcement did make a welfare call, and that was it.
Then how does that turn into a CPS complaint against you?
I have no idea, ma'am. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now in regards to my New Mexico case that actually has no relevance to the Sebastian case.
Then was there even a CPS complaint against you in New Mexico?
Not that I am aware of.
Oh my God.
And my attorney and myself are well educated on my case, and there's no.
So he just said that there wasn't anything in New Mexico too. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he said it. Chris, I've had CPS called in 2 states. New Mexico and Tennessee was Sebastian. His words. Yep. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Why does he think that it has nothing to do with this case? It has everything to do with this damn case. The abuse carries on no matter how delusional. Yep. Bower Sox had faith. Was Chris there at the Bower Sox when Nina went to pick up? Later, Chris said he had to hand Faith over back to Nina. Yep. Yes, Donna. Just now realized that.
Nothing that we know of.
It's amazing. You can go back and catch stuff every time you watch it.
Was there a TRO taken out against you regarding
Yes, ma'am.
your daughter?
Not a TRO, but a TPO.
A temporary protective order. Why was that taken out?
So in regards to that case, my ex-wife had a TPO put against her in Tennessee at the time. When we went to court, that got dissolved. I was ordered to hand my daughter back over to my ex-wife at the time. She gets in a truck. She fleds to New Mexico. 2 days later, she files one in retaliation.
Is it still in place?
No, ma'am. That was dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
She asked the question twice. She asked the question twice. They would have to call CPS in California. Tennessee has no jurisdiction. Yes. Nancy, she probably, I'm sure she watched the prior interviews, or her staff did. Someone cleared their throat.
That did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding Faith's furniture.
Yes,
A few
ma'am.
days after Sebastian goes missing, did you replace furniture in Faith's room?
When did somebody
you're
clear their throat?
I think 2 weeks of it being put in place.
Oh yeah, someone did. I wasn't Katie or Chris. Look at that. I'll rewind it.
Is it still in place?
No, ma'am, that was dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place. Dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place.
Mama socks. That is not true, Deborah. Sebastian went bowling. Shoes are rented. This means the scent of others would be on his feet when he put. Dogs know how to. Smells come in layers, right? You can have 20 people walk in the same line. 20 people walk in the same line. And you give them your scent, and it will distinguish your scent. Dogs smell 30,000 different things at one time. So that is not true. That is absolutely not true. Oh yeah, nobody flinched. I feel like Katie would have moved her head or something if she was the one. Oh no, she didn't. She didn't clear. It was not her clearing her throat. I guarantee. I can tell you right now, it wasn't.
Is it still in place?
No, ma'am. That was dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place.
It's coming from Chris's side. I promise you it's not her. Promise. It's coming from in front of Chris. Yep, from the left. To the left, to the left. Yep, that's not a male. That's definitely, I mean, it's probably know exactly who it is. Someone else. Yeah.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time
Listen,
that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am. That did not.
it's amazing. I cannot, guys.
Question
Yes, ma'am.
regarding Faith's furniture.
Yes,
A few
ma'am.
days after Sebastian goes missing, did you replace furniture in Faith's room?
No, ma'am. I have not.
Ginger, it was Nancy Grace, panel member, Lauren Collin clearing her throat. This is before they're even there. How do you know it was Nancy Grace's? Because they haven't even opened the panel up to them yet. I mean, it could be, but
Not replaced any furniture in my daughter's room.
Is there any new furniture in the home?
Yes, ma'am. There's a bed that was given to me, and it's currently in my garage.
Has anything been taken out of the home?
No, ma'am.
question: had that, and only answer this if you absolutely know, please. Not if you think you know. Had the mattress been taken out on the curb yet by the time this interview happened? I'm wondering if that had happened yet. I don't think it has it? Okay, Brittany answered no. It was taken out on Easter. Okay. This was March 25th. What?
I was curious about a statement that Miss Proudfoot made earlier that canine dogs hit on
Well,
the barn.
his sister is the one that took the used mattress to his garage. Yes, and then they threw a mattress out on the curb. I'm sorry, but they live in an over a $600,000 home. Why are they getting a used mattress?
Around the home and near a retention pond. Did that happen?
I'm not sure about the barn, but the retention pond, yes.
Because law enforcement says the dogs did not hit.
Oh,
But
yes.
Miss
There's
Proudfoot
been a-
says they did hit around the retention pond.
So there's been a lot of miscommunication.
It was a new mattress in a box that was delivered. Chris said his sister brought. I'm pretty sure Chris said his sister brought. No worries, Brittany. That's weird. Okay, now that makes me question. I thought it was a secondhand bed. I thought
In
something.
regards to what is and what is not, to help clear that up.
See, I thought he said sister Mohawk. Used bed frame.
Enforcement has actually spoken directly with
Maybe
me,
he said
showed me a few things.
maybe he
What I
said
can tell you
different
is
things at
there,
different
from
times.
day
which
one,
is
there was
creepy.
5 dogs that started the scent for the search. And then after that, from the next 8 days out from that, there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations. But I would say a certain percentage of them tend to go toward the same spot, which would have been a retention pond.
So the law enforcement dogs did not hit on the retention pond. Is that what you're saying?
No,
I've
I'm saying
asked
they
that
did.
myself, SL, because oh, my camera's not on. You know that Sebastian had accidents, right? And I'm sure that there was a mattress protector on there. Guarantee there was a mattress protector on Sebastian's bed. All you would have to do, they're waterproof. Mattress protectors are, right? It's like a plastic, and it usually has a fabric around it, the plastic, and you literally zip the entire mattress in this big thing that fits your entire mattress. All you would have to do is take the mattress protector off, and you would never know if anything happened on a bed. You would never know. You can pour a gallon of water on a mattress protector, and it will not get the mattress wet. Right? You can you can put a gallon of water on it. It's not gonna. I don't remember ever calling it, say it was new either. Yeah. 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 Well, the mattress protectors I have on because I do it for allergies and stuff like that, but it zips like you have to take the entire mattress off because it goes under the mattress, the sides of the mattress, on top of the mattress, and it has like a fabric still on top of it. And all you would have to do is take that off, put it in another bedroom, flip the mattress. There would be nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. No fluids or anything at all. That's what I heard too, Lori. That's exactly what I heard. I heard his sister came over and brought him a mattress. Well, he was mad because he said he was tired of the house smelling like piss. So rude. God, that's so rude. My husband sweats front, and I had to get and still wash bed linens every other day. Yeah. That's what I heard, Jordan. Asking if anyone had a wrought iron bed. Just went to pull up Facebook post of Kathy Bauer Socks asking if anyone had a wrought iron bed to sell, and it's gone. Do you know when that was posted, Mama Bear? Do you know when she posted that? I mean, I'm sorry. I just feel like they're the type, if they want a bed, they go get a bed. He said he did say used, but here he said yes. Yeah. Yeah. A memory foam mattress is not going back in the box. I think he did too. I distinctly remember that. He may have said something else somewhere else, but he said it was Justin get his family to pick it up for him. Right. I remember him saying, my sister brought a bed over. And that was on, I want to say it was on Clue Minotti's or Queen Bee one.
There was at least 3 that I know for a fact that did hit on the retention pond.
And the pond has been drained, correct? And there was nothing there.
Yes, ma'am. They have walked it,
Well,
drained it.
I know that when Chris and Katie moved in, yes, he said it was given to him by his sister. But I know when Chris and Katie moved in, they went and bought all new furniture. All brand new furniture.
And there's nothing. The retention pond was only knee deep anyways.
On one occasion, Mr.
So this is the interview where, we thought Katie was, or they was reading from a script or something. Maybe someone else is there, but this is where she says, I'm actually looking at pictures of my son, Sebastian. And allegedly there was footage of a new mattress box. So what did they do with the old furniture? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Mr. Proudfoot, you stated that you and Mrs. Proudfoot have been, quote, vetted and cleared of foul play.
They have been vetted. That is true. Not cleared. Not cleared. Not cleared. They have not been cleared. They have been vetted. But vetted does not mean cleared. When the mattress box, but I can't get his attention to look for it. I don't know if I have it here. Let me check. I may have it somewhere, but not that I had it somewhere, but I don't know if I still have it. Let me look. I got so many photos. I remember seeing it, but I don't know if I have it. It was out next to the trash. There's a Katie. It's the car. It was in the early days of this investigation. I know that. I don't see it. If anyone has it, they can send it to me or they can text it to me.
That was stated on Chronicles of Olivia. Is that true? What do you mean by that?
Yes. So after working with law enforcement of all agencies, they have actually told us that there is no foul play, no nefarious issues. We've been cleared of all wrongdoing. We are working extremely cooperative with all law enforcement agencies. At any point in time that they've called, come to the house, anything.
Was Sebastian angry or upset before he disappeared?
No, ma'am.
Not to my knowledge.
What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
Your theory.
I think it's possible that someone has my son
Why?
because I feel like if he had been close to the house or had walked off, that we would found him by now with as many people as we had searching.
Have you checked his social media?
He doesn't have social media.
Have you checked his phone?
His phone has been thoroughly checked. Yes, ma'am.
Have you handed your phones to police, both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Has police searched all of your devices, your laptop, your iPad, everything?
Everything. Yes, ma'am.
Chris just nods his head on that one. I still want to know if when he was down in, which I do think he probably got his phone back by then, by Wednesday. But I still want to know if there was any other devices in that camper.
Other than you, Miss Proudfoot,
Because he was,
who is the last person that saw or heard Sebastian alive the Sunday before he went missing?
Two of his aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner.
And that was at BJ's the night before or the bowling alley?
So BJ's, and then we went to the bowling alley, and then after the bowling alley, we went to dinner before coming home.
I want to follow up again on the dogs hitting. Earlier, Ms. Proudfoot had stated the dogs hit around the house, the barn, and at the retention pond.
yeah, I
Is
don't
that correct?
have it.
I don't know about the barn, but I do know that they did track to the pond. Yes.
Did the dogs also hit around the house?
Yes, ma'am.
on the outside of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Were they scent dogs or cadaver dogs?
They brought in both cadaver and tracking dogs.
Ooh.
Which dog hit, a cadaver dog or a scent dog?
Someone just
Scent
sent me
It's all
something
been scent
interesting.
dogs that have hit. The cadaver dogs have not hit on anything that we know of.
What do you believe Sebastian was wearing when he disappeared? And would that have been what he slept in?
Yes. So the clothes, the black sweatpants with the white stripes and the long sleeve black shirt, that is what he went to bed in. And the reason that I believe he was still wearing those clothes is because when we searched, I did not find those clothes in the house. So I have to assume that that's what he was still wearing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say that's what he wore when he went to bed?
Yes, ma'am.
Joining us right now, in addition to Katie Proudfoot and Chris Proudfoot, the bio mom and stepdad of Sebastian, an all-star panel. First to Brian Trasher joining us, Vice President of the Cajun Navy, who has joined the search. Brian, thank you for being with us. Who asked you to join the search?
Well, we had deployed a team up to Nashville, Tennessee last week in response to.
Okay. This guy creeps me out, to be honest with you. Yeah. Sorry, but he creeps me out. He just kind of creeps me out. Sorry. Who was the second aunt? I don't know. In my opinion, CP is one of those guys who is first class. All the way, of course, he had techno shit in the fifth wheel and a raging Cajun. Ain't buying that. Wait, I thought they wasn't sure about the shirt. So they ended up saying that the shirt was, and I don't, Baby Yoda, but it's another name for Baby Yoda, or it's a show. I thought law enforcement had the clothes. Had what clothes? Mama Bear. Nancy asked who was the last with her when she seen Sebastian. She said all of the places they went, the ants went there forever. Now the ants didn't go, they didn't go to eat. They didn't go eat with them. Yes, this, whatever that, yeah, that, whatever that is. Long sleeves and black, yes. In my opinion, right, Laura? In my opinion, it's convenient. Replay it, Justin. She skirts in sneaky. What part? That criminal. Law enforcement has the clothes from Sunday Fun Day, not the pajamas. He wasn't wearing pajamas. He wasn't wearing pajamas. No shower after such a big day. Well, yeah. Precisely. No shower after the big day. When Nancy just asked who other than Katie is last seen. Okay. I'll play that again.
Or upset before he disappeared?
No, ma'am.
Not to my knowledge.
What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
Your theory.
I think it's possible that someone has my son.
Why?
Because I feel like if he had been close to the house or had walked off, that we would found him by now with as many people as we had searching.
Have you checked?
Remember, 1,500 searchers, and they searched in a 5-mile radius. 10 to 12,000 miles was logged. That is enough to go from New York to California, from California to New York, from New York to California, from California to New York. That is that many times you could walk one person. It's 2,600, 2,500, 2,400 miles from New York to LA. One way. That is crazy. He would have been found in that area.
To social media.
He doesn't have social media.
Have you checked his phone?
His phone has been thoroughly checked. Yes, ma'am.
Have you handed your phones to police, both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Both.
ma'am, we have.
Has police searched all of your devices, your laptop,
Chris
your
doesn't
iPad,
answer.
everything?
Everything. Yes, ma'am.
Look,
Other than you, Miss Proudfoot, who is
he answers the cell phone, but she's like, cell phone, everything. Katie, they both answer about the phone. And on the second one, Chris just goes,
the last person that saw or
could be
heard
nothing.
Sebastian alive the Sunday before he went missing?
Two of his aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner.
And that was at BJ's the night before or the bowling alley?
So BJ's, and then we went to the bowling alley, and then after the bowling alley, we went to dinner before coming home.
I want to
Correction, allegedly, they may have phones, in my opinion. I've known Justin since before he had the channel back. Oh, thank you so much, Katie. Yes, I appreciate you, dear. Thank you. Two of his aunts, which aunts? Not all of them went. So, two of his aunts. Well, the one thing Katie never talks about is the neighbor that they went to. Right? The neighbor. And I don't know why. Let me find it. Okay, this is the wrong one. Wrong one. Let me pull it up. Because the neighbor said something. I can't. Well, maybe it's on another one of my documents. But he says the neighbor said they were at my house for a few minutes before I guess before they went to dinner. Okay, here it is. Yes, he was at my house for a few minutes on Sunday afternoon with his mom and his cousin. his mom and his cousin. I'll make it bigger for you. You can see there. So I don't know if she's using 2 aunts or if it's one cousin and one aunt. If that's what she means. How would Chris know if he was upset? He wasn't even home, supposedly. He hadn't been home for some times. That's the question. Well, and he says, we're like any other normal family. We work Monday through Friday. Oh. So that would still mean Katie was the only person to see Sebastian. I couldn't talk about my child missing without emotions. They don't flinch at all. CB, a moment in time to the office, please. CB, a moment in time to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for CB, a moment in time mods. Late slip for CB, a moment in time mods. CB, a moment in time is late. Nobody see them get home. Well, there has to be footage of them getting home, right? Picked the niece up, took her to her mom. That's probably Melissa. Thank you, Tit. Chris knows everything, even. It's very interesting. He talks just like he was there, in my opinion. The niece was his sister's child. She met them out, so she would have taken her child with her home. I mean, oh, guys, can we get it to 1,000 likes? Come on. Come on. You know you want to. Hit the button. Come on. There is a person that lives in the Proudfoot neighborhood called Brittany. I have been looking out for her in chat, as the last time I chatted to her, she said she saw something disturbing, so intrigued. Mm. She said 2 aunts and a niece. And another video is that, hold on, is that not what she said in the video? I can't remember. They say just so. Does anyone want to learn Arabic? Do I look like I want to learn Arabic? No. Okay. Sheikh Makboubi, get out of here. Okay. Never one time did I ever hear her say want to clarify for the answer there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry. So I'm an idiot sometimes. Apologize. I mean, why come into a chat and be like, oh, does anyone want to learn Arabic or Spanish or anything? If I did, I would call you. Sorry. Chris is the only son and has only two sisters. They just come in and it's like, hey, you want to learn Arabic? You want to learn gay? Sorry. People kill me. I don't know. Sorry. I'm gonna say shit I don't mean, so forgive me. Okay, what else are we talking about here? So yes, they say afternoon. So I wonder what time. What time did they get home from? It was like 12. No, not 12. Shit. I mean 7. Was it 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock? Katie has nothing to do with her family, and she doesn't. She doesn't. Me too, Lily. I mean, I can't even speak. I speak broken English the way it is. You know? I speak broken English the way it is. Oh my god. Was it 7 o'clock or was it 8 o'clock? No, Glitter. Katie's family. I feel really bad for Katie's childhood. Like no, like when something is wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter who it happened to or anything. Like it's wrong. Wrong is wrong, and Katie was done really wrong as a child. And you have to have compassion for someone who was done wrong, right? Soldier girl. Funny. Um my mythic Bonnie's. She really had a bad childhood. She did. I mean, when your mom is like an RSO and is on probation for 99 years, and usually there's a lot more RSO men, right, than there is women, right? So it must have been terrible, right? Her crime was against somebody in that house per the charges. Yes. Yeah. She also can't leave her state. Correct. She knows nothing but abuse, in my opinion. And I think I think Chris's family is well to do, right? And I think she's comfortable in the way she lives her life, her creature comforts, as I say. And I think that that's all the family that she knows. So maybe she's allowed a lot of horrible stuff. Because I'm telling you something, if I was with somebody who even looked at my kid the wrong way, he would be learning Arabic. That's all I can say. He would be learning it because it wouldn't go good for him. I'll just say that. They absolutely can. Absolutely can. People, I mean, people with rough childhood can become great individuals and also can be horrible individuals, just the same as people that grew up with money can be great individuals. I mean, you know you can be a good person or a bad person if you came from a hard you know childhood or an extremely good childhood. um Yes, that's right, Maurice. They can and can't, but don't judge anyone based on that. No, no. I mean, you shouldn't base anyone on if they had, a bad childhood. I'm just saying that I have compassion for her childhood. And that is true too, Mohawk. They can become numb to it as well and think it is normal. Sure can. Sure can. Um all right. I'm going to do a poll and I want to know what you guys want to do. 1 second. I'm going to do a poll. Bear with me. How many thumbs up do we have? Okay. Do you want to hold on? Which do you want to go over? Chris with what's his name? Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson or Peter. Okay. All right. I just dropped the poll. Going to give a couple minutes. Let me know which one y'all want to do. Please vote. Which one you want to go over today? Yes, please hit that thumbs up button. You're okay, Valerie. No problem, hon. No worries. I want to change my vote to Chris. Doesn't matter because we're going to eventually go over both. A lot of us had terrible and traumatic childhoods. We can take that and can learn and know exactly what not to because we know how it feels, but some people use this as a yeah, you're right, Glitter. You're absolutely right. You can become your environment or you can, not become. Yeah, they're both really good. They're both really good. Yeah, but should always want to try to break the cycle. Okay, we're at 2 minutes on the poll. 214 have voted. So far. And it looks like Chris McDonough from the interview room is going to be the winner for this live, at least. Come on, let's get it up to 1,000. Please. Please and thank you. So, we're going to start at a little bit in the middle of the video because that's where it started. Barb, I'm good. How are you today? You haven't heard of who? Link will be provided down in the description for Chris McDonough from the interview room and Steve Johnson. Great individuals. Chris is a former law enforcement homicide detective, and Steve Johnson, he is a managing partner of truthtolies.com. Make sure you look them up. Chris also is with the Cold Case Foundation.
There's real reasons to be concerned that he's missing. Nobody would have thought to ask, did you immediately call? But he put that in there, and it's an emphasis. He's in it, and he said after that we immediately called 911.
Yes.
And that word immediately is not
80
necessary
more.
to say. Nobody would have thought to ask. We typically don't think to ask, did you immediately call?
Thank you, Jackie.
Because this is a missing 15-year-old autistic kid who, I mean, there's real reasons to be concerned that he's missing. Nobody would have thought to ask, did you immediately call? But he put that in there, and it's an emphasis on, look, we did exactly what we're supposed to do. We're following the rules. We're doing what we're supposed to do. And I don't like it, actually. For me, that unnecessary, the use of that unnecessary word is a convincer. It's a convincing statement in and of itself that they did what they were supposed to do. And who portrays himself as good people that are doing what they're supposed to do?
That is another thing, and Steve makes a good point here. People who are telling you what they're saying, well, that's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was supposed to do. Well, you don't have to tell others that that's what you were supposed to do, right? They're just making it seem like, oh, yeah, I do everything right. Everything is everything's right. Chris also says this in, I want to say it's Smiley's interview. I'm her husband, so I did what I was supposed to do and call 911 for her because she, is all tore up, but she's driving also at the fact, she says she can't call 911, but she can get behind a 4,000 pound vehicle and look, but she just can't call, which doesn't make sense to me.
Typically, it's people that have done something that they shouldn't be doing, because the people.
Karen, thank you, my love. Appreciate the support. Shout out to my baby Josh. He's 24 today. So proud of him. Congratulations, Josh. 24 years old. That's some of the best times of your life. 24, 25. So have a good birthday. Congratulations. Next year, your brain is fully developed at 25. And it's the best years of your life. It really is. 24, 25 is amazing. But I hear like 40s and 50s are good. And I'm right there at 40. I'm right there at 40.
People that are de facto innocent and the actual good people don't have a need to rehab themselves, to bolster themselves, to make themselves appear better. They don't use a lot of unnecessary words like that. So that in and of itself, I know it's one little word, but but added to everything else, it's I'm stacking things here.
40 more thumbs
And
up. Hit me,
it's just
baby, one more
thing in
time.
the stack.
So yeah, I mean, this is in the 3 minute, within 3 minutes. This is part of that 3 minute call. You know, within 3 minutes, okay, minute 4 starts, and this is the conversation. And this is how he's describing that, because he takes over from her description of that 3 minute call.
He does. Hey, one more thing.
Yep.
Sorry about that, but I wanted to be sure. One thing that struck me about this was mom says within 3 minutes, well, she said, yeah, I took a second. Now she mimicked what the interviewer said to her. Did you take a second? Or I don't remember exactly what the interview said, but she goes, yeah, I took a second and I
thank you, Sally.
Looked around and then
look what Sally's doing. She's going to the TV to give me another thumbs up. That's so sweet.
I don't remember her exact words, but within 3 minutes, she's on the phone with CP.
That's a devoted.
CP's not there. And so what would we expect mom to be doing at that point? Would we expect her to call him? How is he going to help?
I mean, I'll probably have a midlife crisis when I hit 40.
I would. What would you be doing? You'd be on the phone with who? His friends, his biological dad. Is he over at your house?
Wow.
Running to the neighbors. Did Sebastian come over here? Looking outside. Is he outside for whatever reason? Did he go to the garage? Did he? All these other things. There's I can think of like a list, a laundry list of things that I would think mom would be doing and places she would be going and people she would be calling to check. Not CP, who's out of town.
Right. I mean, the first thing, I mean, I'll be honest with you. People's like, well, she should have called 911, you know, like, but I wouldn't have mind if she called Seth first, just to be like, hey, I can't find our son. Did you get him last night or anything? But he was at work. And then call 911. I don't understand. I mean, I have a theory, in my opinion, why she called Chris. And so where he was at the time, in my opinion, they wanted it to ping at a certain spot, in my opinion. That is the reason, in my opinion, she called Chris to do a 3-way call with. But that's, you know, just an opinion. Doesn't mean anything, really.
Why did she call him? That makes this even more significant. She pulled him into this with that mentioning of a phone call, and now he takes over and it's like, we did this, we did that. They are united in this. But it's not what I would have expected mom.
I wouldn't have texted him. The numbers of thumbs up are going backwards, Justin. Perfect. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you. Can't win. It's time for our daily dose of Katie. Please, Katie. Katie. The numbers are going backwards.
Katie! Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! Katie!
Did we hit 1,000? Did we hit 1,000? Y'all are muchas gracias. See, I just spoke Spanish. and I'll speak a little bit of Arabic, and it's Alhamdulillah for the Arabic gentleman. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you for the English viewers. Oh, I was going to play the chicken again. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. That guy didn't think I knew Arabic.
To do, I would expect to hear that I was frantic out of my mind and I did all these things to find Sebastian. And when I realized, hey, he's nowhere to be found, I wouldn't be calling.
Yes, I do my Spanish with an Italian accent.
CP,
But it
I'd
sounded
be calling
Italian.
the police. Can you get me some help here to find my son? And I know,
Merci.
Chris, with if something happened to one of our grandkids
Thank you,
or
Mama
kids when we
Bear.
were younger, I know my wife would be doing she'd expect me to be doing things, but she would be taking all these measures herself, and then she would be on the phone calling 911. My child is gone. I could be standing right there, and she
Thank
would
you,
still say,
Courtney.
my child, my daughter, my son, whatever is missing, and she would take ownership of it. And it just assuming I'm there, but you see what I'm saying? Biological mother, there's a real strength there, and I'm just not getting that sense from her.
Yeah, and you know what else to
Yeah.
dovetail on your thought there? I hate to say this, but it sounds almost like an overlay of
Thank you,
what
Jacqueline.
Candace
Thank you.
regurgitated. That immediately I called Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this, Summer was gone. I called Don. Well,
We hit 1,000. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing.
The day I heard that was like a huge red flag for me. It was like, well, wait a minute, your husband's out of town, Don. He happens to be out of town. Okay, in this conversation that we're having here, right?
Yeah.
It just happens to be that both men are out of town the day their children go missing, and in this case, stepson. And yet the stories are extremely similar. The environment's different, but they're very similar. And in this situation where, he starts carrying the conversation here, he takes it away from her for a second, and then he interjects himself into the narrative of that conversation where, I hear, we look there, etc. And I would love to get this tape enhanced to see if he did, put himself into that search mode with her. But most parents, to your point, mothers specifically, they're going to pick up the phone, call 911. My son's missing.
Yeah.
I need your help.
Just like in the Summer Wells case, they called the non-emergency line. Like, it doesn't get much bigger of an emergency than your child missing, right? Jessica, thank you. Appreciate it. Pearls look amazing on you, darling. Thank you so much for becoming a pearl. Welcome to the family, y'all. Please welcome Jessica Harris as a new member of the Pearl Club. Yes. My cousin's baby lost consciousness. She ran to the front lawn screaming, not to the phone. The whole neighborhood was alerted. That makes my heart want to. Is the baby okay, Sunset? Please, God, I pray the baby was okay. That's terrifying.
My son's missing.
Okay,
well, hang on for a minute. No, hang on. I got to call my husband. Just a second. No, stay on the line, ma'am. Stay on the line. Okay, we have people are en route. I'm going to back this up one more time. There's the
What is that when you call 911?
going through your mind?
While we were on the phone.
She's feeding him questions again. These reporters, what are you doing? Are you calling 911? Are you running around screaming? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Let them fill it in. Don't speak for them.
I was like, is he on the other side of the bed?
See it now when you listen to it again. It sounded like as I was there. Was that I was there on the phone? Was is he present?
It sounds like he says I was there. It does sound like he says I was there to me. It absolutely does.
I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box.
Oh, and he says, was he on the other side of the bed? Like, that's a weird statement, especially the way that I think that they would have Sebastian's bed in his bedroom. Like, I would think they would have put it very similar to where the pictures are when they were, I guess it was up for sale, because that's really the only way I can think that you can put a bed in that bedroom. It's like, the windows on the other side of the bed. And there's a bunch of space. What do you mean is he on the other side of the bed? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Of course, by the time Katie has called you, she's going to have checked that room, right? I mean, it could be against the wall, it could be against the window. I don't know.
Places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute, and immediately
He got
after
the
that,
smallest
we
bedroom, yeah.
called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside.
Called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I looked in every closet.
Within minutes they were here. They responded.
That's exactly what I'm asking, Mohawk. Bed was centered in the showing pictures. Was the bed against the wall? I don't know. But it just doesn't make sense to me to say something like that to begin with, because obviously the bed is going to be, I mean, obviously you're going to check everything in that bedroom, right? The only thing, what was that comment? The only thing I can think of, Justin, is if poor Sebastian only had a twin size bed. I don't know what size bed he had, to be honest with you.
Here we go.
So you said you were on the phone.
Here we go.
Talk
This
about connect.
this is
Listen to this.
This dovetails back into what she said. She called CP and she goes, he's nowhere to be found. Like, what did I say before? That, like, what? Here we go. We're going to the next step, and that's kind of what he just alluded to. Like, oh, here we go. What it's the next step, and now they go into all this detail about how many cops were there, and they were all the way down the street, but yet, where was that detail when it came to what she did to find Sebastian?
Bingo.
I mean, she did have this little second thought, like, oh, by the way, I did do all these things, but it wasn't in the beginning. It took a bit for her for that to come out of her brain.
Right. She's giving more details about the cops being there than actual, what happened when Sebastian went
And we
missing.
certainly didn't have it when she was describing the day and the evening, all the different things. Experiential memory, your last moments with your son, the last day, those things become very dear to you. And if it's the last day, that something happened to them, they disappeared. You remember those last moments more so than the normal day.
Mhm.
And so
I
I'm
can
not
tell
hearing
you.
it. It's opposite.
Yeah, there's a disconnect here. There's a
Yeah,
disconnect.
that's
Uh,
it.
Yeah, usually you're right. Someone said I find it strange that, they haven't shown Sebastian's room in 2 interviews of the house. Usually, like, when someone's missing or whatever on TV, they'll show, like, Sebastian's room. That way you can maybe understand, or to get a little bit more understanding about how Sebastian is.
I mean, just, and my circumstance. I mean, when
Yeah.
Karen and I lost our son, I was standing at the teacups with
God bless Chris and Karen. God bless them at Disney World whenever they're got a call that their child died in an accident. God bless them. God bless them. Rayan, the diva. Oops, I'm late. Thank you very much. Oh, you're good now. Oh, yes, ma'am. Rayan, the diva, to the office, please. Rayan, the diva, to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for Rayan, the diva. Thank you so much for 2 months, my dear. Thank you. Thank you, baby kisses, for writing that up. I appreciate it. We will hand that straight to Rayan. There we go. Thank you, Drew, for writing that up. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Scorpio, for writing that up. Appreciate it. All right.
our niece in Disneyland when that phone rang and we got the message that our son had passed.
Oh, that's a good point, reality. Police were here. Only minutes.
From
Interesting.
the police in an accident, and I can tell you that is ingrained here and here. I can tell you exactly what emotions came over me and how they flooded my mind, my body. I'm not seeing
Thank
this.
you, progressive girl. Thank you, my love.
This
Appreciate
little
you.
boy, 15-year-old autistic son, and they've had 8 days now to process this. 8 days. And, to your point,
Yes.
Steve,
And that's the truth, Laura. Like, when your kids are quiet, right? Something's up. Something's up a lot of times. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they're being a little too quiet. Something's up.
I'm not seeing that. It's like,
But the way that they make, Sebastian doesn't sleep well at night, right? I mean, if your kid doesn't sleep well, or they, try to, you know, play around, when they need to go to bed for school, you check on them and to make sure that they're not, jumping around the room, that they're actually resting. So I don't see how Katie would have not checked on her son. You're late. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pearl Girl. Happy birthday to you. That's my rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President by Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Pearl Girl. Happy birthday, darling.
oh, here we go. Let's move. We got things to move. And he's a former military guy. He's a former Navy guy. So for him, maybe it's like, saddle up. Let's move. We got things to do.
Could be. But Chris, as you're describing, you remembered you were at the teacups when you got that news.
Terry's,
I'll bet
I'll go over and tell her happy birthday in a little bit.
that what flooded your mind was
You're still late. She is.
Your
I'm gonna
last
give her
conversations with your
give her a
son.
pass.
The
I,
last
yeah,
time you were with him, I bet that was like forefront in your mind.
yeah.
And
And I didn't believe it because he was just at our house, earlier, and it's gone. To your point. So you're right. I mean, here, I'm not. It's just like this disconnect.
there's a big disconnect here, and it's troubling.
It is troubling for me too.
Called the sheriff's department and made a report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
So you said you were on the phone.
I'm sorry, Lori. That's tough. I'm so sorry.
I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator. And I
Thank
was
you,
working
Pearl.
in Memphis at the St. Jude project.
Happy birthday.
So it's,
She feeds him the reporters. I wish these reporters would stop
Yes,
feeding
reporters,
a
stop.
narrative. Just say, where were you and what happened, and let it run. That's what cops do. I mean, a good interviewer anyway.
Yeah.
Because he dovetailed
Sorry, soldier
right into
girl.
that conversation.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah,
to.
you sure did. And that happens way too often. I wish more people would take training like my classes or similar, and learn to ask
I'm
the
on
right
Christmas.
questions
Some point in the evening.
that will elicit the information that's very usable.
I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, I was like, what? I was confused.
Oh, Cecilia, I'm sorry.
We talked about where he could possibly be, and then we went from there and led to calling the cops, and here we are now.
Within minutes.
He said it again.
He did.
Is today your
Which-
birthday?
Yeah, it elevates the sensitivity of
Today your
that
birthday?
too. That, to me, that kind of solidified in my mind that is in his head. It is more of like, well, on to the next step. This is what we talked about. This is going to happen, and now they're into the next phase.
Yes, ma'am.
It was rapid fire. They had cars.
They
They had
lined
cars from here down to the
main
road, as far as I could tell.
So what's going through both of your minds? I mean, are we panicking? Is it this? Oh, I think he's.
We are mobile, Juju, Bubby. We are mobile. We can travel with you. We can travel with you with the phone. We can travel with you. Juju, to the office, please. You're being paged. Juju, to the office, please. You're being paged. Late slip for the Juju, please. Late slip for the Juju, please. September rain. Thank you, my love. Thank you, my dear, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. I'm trying to make her feel very guilty. We're mobile now. Just download that little YouTube app and you can hear me just zipping away while you're driving down the road. How about that? Oh, God. You love the late slip? Fur baby. You love the late slip?
See, she's given him a multiple choice.
You walk on the wild
And
side.
and ladies and gentlemen, take Steve's class, because that's not how you interview. Okay. This is a news interview, but this is not a law enforcement interview. So I would be real curious what they told law enforcement 8 days earlier. I guarantee you they're not going to line up.
And listen, do you hear what Chris just said? He said, guarantee you that it's not going to line up. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terry T. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Terry T. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, darling. Justin, how could Chris earbuds from work have been going off in his other ear when Katie called him if his work didn't start till 7? Yes. Yep. Yep. We was making that point, Michelle, the other day. You can't be in that crane until 7 o'clock, and she was called at 6:04. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. Congress case girl, thank you, my dear. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. In my opinion, none of their timelines add up. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Oh, no, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I know you've had a bad day. Probably been traveling too. It's not fun.
For sure.
Probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner.
Sebastian at 6:30.
He's
Yes.
never run away before.
Yeah, the sister said that they were searching for Sebastian at 6:30. Well, Chris can't be
I don't
in the
know why.
crane.
I don't know why he walked out that door.
I don't know why he walked out that door. Now, saying that he walked out that door, that doesn't mean he was, that doesn't sound like an abduction, right? Like she's making it, in my opinion, it sounds like he willingly walked out that door. I don't know why he walked out the door. Now, she didn't say he was taken out the door or anything like that. I don't know why he walked out that door, but in other interviews, she's like, I think he was taken. So there's that.
Hold up, Chris. Let's talk about that just for a second. I know we got a lot to cover here, but she asked him the reporter asked specifically something to the effect of what's going through your mind. Are you thinking he's at a neighbor's house? I mean, she offered that possibility to the parents. And what did mom go to? She went to him being a runner. Well, she said, my son's not a runner, but I'm wondering why, out of all the possibilities,
it's a good question, but I don't think
are
so.
you going to?
I don't think, I personally, there is no evidence of still live at the airport watching. See, we're mobile. We're mobile. Thank you, Olivia. You see, what was I going to say? I don't think Sebastian was taken. All right, sorry. I don't think Sebastian walked out that door, in my opinion, by himself. There is no evidence of an abduction. There is evidence of a disappearance. A disappearance and an abduction are two much different things, right? The only thing we know is that Sebastian has disappeared, but we don't know how he disappeared, right? With regards to that, I believe my child would have been abducted. I'm freaking out, hysterical, and begging and pleading for help. Yes. Yes. There is no evidence that has been found that we are aware of. They were returned, Yorkshire. Yes, they were returned. There is no abduction. I mean, sorry, there is no evidence that anywhere of him, right? At all. Nothing. Not a camera, not a scent, not a footprint, not an article of clothing, not eyewitnesses, nothing. So, why is that? Because, in my opinion, he was how do I word it? He was hidden.
Not a runner. And then she says he's never run away before. There, in her, it tells me in her mind, there's no other possibility other than that he ran away. And it's again very similar to Summer Wells. They had their narrative. They had this. They already, and Summer Wells' parents knew what happened, that somebody came up on their property and took her. And Chris, you and I, from all our investigations, we know that there's, in a case like this, you don't know. You don't know if did Sebastian walk out? Did his dad come and get him? Was he lured out by someone else? Did possibly did he get internet access that we didn't know about? Did he, a friend? Did he go to a friend from school? There's so many possibilities, but yet they're not getting off that. And so she says, I don't know why he walked out that door. So she's telling us that's the only possibility, that
Right.
he walked out that door.
Right. Exactly, Holly. Yes. And I'm so sorry you were timed out earlier. I am so sorry about that. Not a runner. Best day ever, but ran. No, doesn't make sense.
There's nothing else on the table. That's the only possibility. And it's just, again, incongruent. It shouldn't be that way. It's not what we expect.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. DLR, right? Does not look right.
Right.
Or sound right. So far.
He's not a mischievous child by any means. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers right now that we are searching for desperately. And
Why did Chris get so mad when it was mentioned?
That day, if you think back, and there might have been a reason.
Very good question, Mohawk. Why did Chris get so mad when it was mentioned his mother's car was seen at Washam's early in the morning? That he went cray-cray on that. He went cray-cray on that. Bad. Very bad.
Reason he was possibly upset, or something outside that could have enticed him to go outside. Was there anything that came to mind?
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving. It'd make more sense if we'd been fighting.
Or he'd been in trouble, but he hadn't been in trouble.
If we'd have been fighting.
Okay, right there. So, interesting that mom says he was in a good mood. He was behaving. Again, a subtle reference to the times that he's not behaving. And I get it. He's a 15-year-old boy and autistic, and I'm sure it's a handful. But when they're missing, it's very common for the negative things to not be at the forefront. They take a back seat to all the good things about the child. And so here she brought it to the forefront, but she said something to the effect of, I don't remember the exact words, but even all the people, all that we know or whatever, agreed that he was in a good mood.
Let's go back for a second, and I'll replay it for you,
Okay.
so we can all hear it one more time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed.
God, I thought that my camera was on and I was unmuted. Sorry. That morning, that day, you see how she continually is talking about Sunday, that morning, that day, that morning, that day, that morning, that day. Everything was fine. We hadn't been fighting that day. It would have made more sense if we would have been fighting. It stays on Sunday. That morning, that day. In my opinion, and I feel fairly confident in my opinion that, in my opinion, something happened Sunday. Sent you another email with a YouTube clip of a Yuki case from years ago. The similarities with this, with them, is the only thing that gives me hope that Sebastian was given to someone else. They look alike too. I pray you're right. God, I pray. Maybe Katie Sebastian walked out that door and licked it and fell asleep. She has missing time in her story. She certainly does. And Chris has it's gone 17 hours, but there's a good 10 hours unaccounted for. From Roadhouse to, so about 7 to 9:43, 9:46, yeah. Yeah. And there's a few minutes that's unaccounted for before she calls 911 too. Before she calls 911 too. Right? All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to come back here in an hour. I'll be back in 1 hour at 9 o'clock Eastern. New info. Okay, wait a second. Just got a new report. Really? Oh, I'll have. Can you send that to me? I'll look that up, and if that's true, I'll break it. I'll tell it. I gotta double check it though. Oh, you emailed it? Okay. It's already 1 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Uh, uh, what's it titled? Okay, gotcha. I see. All right, let me look at this. I think that breath is fake. What breath? Tit, what breath? Uh, I'm going to have to verify this. Um, I can't. I can't just say something, guys, and I gotta know for sure. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I just got something, but I gotta verify it. I gotta verify, guys. I'm not gonna say allegedly or anything, but I will be back. I'll be back in an hour. Okay, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. I gotta check it. Um, I'll let you know. Love you guys. Bye bye.